Hello everyone, I'm Phoenix Tremayne. Today we're going to talk about Tyler Perry's Sisters. Please go ahead and hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed. And also, give this channel a try. Now, it depends on which channel you're watching this. I have two channels. One channel is my Soap Fam channel, where if you love soaps and dramas and things like that, I do all those kind of reviews on that channel. That's my main channel. And now I have this new channel titled Phoenix Tremayne. And here we're going to be talking about all sorts of stuff that I don't usually talk about on the Soul Fam channel, but I'm going to be sharing Sisters on both. So here we go. We're going to talk about Sisters, episode 16, season 4. It's called Look Closely. And we were looking closely at this episode. So we're going to go on ahead and kick this off with how it started, where Danny and Sabrina were talking with the African ladies from Spelman and discovered that Bayo is a prince. And after a quick Google search, Danny realized, holy crap, it's true. He really is a prince. And, she said, B-word, you're effing Black Panther and Eddie Murphy all rolled into one. And what I instantly thought of was how Sabrina's so neurotic. I said, look at Sabrina. She about to go in her head. She going to be overthinking this. She already thinking about being a queen and how much pressure is going to be in the whole country. Have the whole country. She's the new Meghan Markle. She was already cracking under the pressure. So I don't really think this is going to go well. It's bad enough her relationship with Calvin's all over the place. But this new one with Bayo, I still don't feel like this is going to be a romantic, loving relationship. I feel like he's going to be part of his sex trafficking ring, this part of Danny's storyline, or he's going to be controlling. Something's going to happen where Tyler Perry is going to turn this upside down, and Sabrina's going to have a whole new nightmare that probably Calvin will save her from. But, we'll see. It's still pretty early. We also had Aaron finally winning over Karen this week with a poem in a picture that she swore didn't look like her. He's like, no, it's you older. I made a picture of you older, and inside the lines of I guess her face in the picture is words. And so she's all crying and whatnot. And I told my friend who I watched Sisters with, I was like, watch them panties come off. Watch the panties come all the way off. First tear. I said, okay. She knows Zach is all Fatima all the time. And this might be his baby. So go ahead and give him some. So, and we see next week, Danny and the girls are going to burst in while they're on the couch making out. So I don't even think he'll actually hit it. But at least she opened the door. He wanted to come in. They just gonna get interrupted. Moving on, El Fuego from the series on BET Plus that will be coming back on July 14th for all the Queen's Men. Nice seeing him on this show as well, where he's doing his non-stripper duties. He has his computer company where he does goes around the room looking for bugs. So that Andy can feel safe in her own home, not knowing that Gary, we saw in the preview for next week, got a telescope looking into her home, seeing her get it on with Robin. But you knew some kind of way he was seeing it in the apartment. I don't think any of us thought it was a telescope. We all thought it was a camera in there. But she told him that Danny really likes him, and that she's only mean to him because she likes him, and he hang in there. She'll be good. She'll be okay. Now, I don't know about you out there, but we're not kids in elementary school where a girl picks on you because she likes you, and you're supposed to just take it because you're getting some attention. No. Danny has issues that she does not even try to work out. She's got Preston dangling from a string, not really telling him how she feels. And then, of course, there's all the things about make her uncomfortable because he's white. And so culturally, they're having these clashes. Understandable. But then she's got this police officer she made a date for like 2 episodes ago. Probably won't actually go on it for another 2 episodes. And then she ended up making another date with El Fuego. So Danny's, dance card is pretty full. And El Fuego was like, make me dinner. I don't want to take you out. Make me dinner. So, yeah, I'm sure she'll make him dinner, and then she'll be dinner. She'll be dessert like she was before. So she's got a lot of men, and they're all dealing with her crap. She's pushing them away. But and then when they start seeing other women, she wonders why. But they really don't push through to really talk about the real issues of why Danny is the way she is. So he didn't find any bugs, and so the girls talked about Karen, and Danny made a real good point because Andy was like, we need to remind her of all the bad things, and Danny was like, well, we try to remind you all the bad things that Gary's done, and Andy wanted to change the subject. So check and mate. So eat your food and go sit down in the corner when you talk about men. Okay. So, they head on over to bust in on Karen to try to help her get over Zach when she's already trying to get under Aaron. Then we had the really nice moment of the couple we actually root for, Zach and Fatima, where, he had a little tiny scene of him in jail calling Fatima on the phone and them basically talking about how much they going to back each other up, and he's glad that, she went rogue on Hayden, and he did the same thing. And so, he's like, I'm going to be out soon, but we saw the promo. May not be as soon as he hopes. But they just need to get to the point of the woman who's trying to say Zach is her baby's father isn't really the baby's father. That way he can get out from under this being put on parole again, and the child support and all the things that's going on. We need to just move on from that. I hope that doesn't carry over to the Zatima show that we'll be getting on BET Plus. I actually would love a fresh storyline for them for having their own show, and leave these storylines on Sistas for them to come back to. So the last thing that happened on the show to talk to, and this is very disappointing for me, although I think that's not going to be what it looks like, because Tyler Perry loves a good bait and switch, make you think something's going to happen in the scene and it's something completely different. So Maurice went to a gay bar and ran into Calvin, who was pissy drunk, and Calvin was laid into him about, him being a terrible person for not wanting Q to give Q a second chance. Maurice is like, well, maybe you want to give him a second chance because you really want him. So that was pretty much setting up the scene that was coming, because when Calvin goes home, there's Q on a couch, where he's supposed to be sleeping, and he wakes him up and talks to him, and then starts talking to Q about, his sexuality. And then even though Q, and it sort of like ruined everything they were trying to build up with making Q a nice guy, when Q started talking about he's cash sexual, that if the money's right, he'll do whatever, except he's not going to be the one to be bending over. He'll bend you over, but you ain't bend him over. And that's probably due to him being molested, which is what he was talking about, like a scene or two ago. So during that conversation, Calvin reveals that he was with Sabrina and he used her little buzz and he wanted it on himself. So Mr. Cash Sexual, who didn't ask for any money, said, well, you want to feel the real thing? You want to try the real thing? And this is a very uncomfortable scene because we talked about issues of consent ever since the whole Me Too and all of that. Consent issues have been something that a lot of us have really talked about, and how a person who is that inebriated can't technically give consent. And if you do something with them, then you are violating them because they can't legally give you permission, and they can send you to jail. They can say, you did the R word, because we can't say certain words on YouTube, that you did the R word, and now you may or may not be going to jail, having a record, or have your whole life ruined. So Calvin clearly can't give consent to Q, but Q is aggressively trying to push up on Calvin. Probably wants some booty. He's just probably horny since he didn't ask for any money, or he'll probably try to do what he did to Maurice, and after the fact then try to ask for some money. But it's made to look like, because when Maurice comes home, that he goes to the room, looked like maybe it was his room, and he starts screaming, and so we the viewers are led to believe that Calvin and Q are doing the do. And I don't think that's what's going to happen. Tyler Perry can surprise me and they actually go through with it. But there's so many times on a lot of different Tyler Perry shows that he sort of sets you up, just like he did with having Andy be caught by Gary with Robin, and making it look like Robin and Gary were working together, and that was like the season finale, and Andy and then turned out to be a dream. So that's what I mean by the Tyler Perry bait and switch, making you think something's going to happen that isn't. The reason why I said that this was the disappointing part of the episode for me, is that I actually think Calvin, whether people made fun of him or not, is actually a very progressive character, because when it comes to black sensuality, sexuality, freakiness, BDSM, toys, anything like that, other races get to explore all those type of things, talk about all those type of things, and black folks do a lot of this in secret. And I'll share something with you. One of my good friends is a dominatrix, and she told me that there are only 2 guys she's been with that didn't let her peg them. If you don't know what pegging is, it's when a woman puts on a strap on and she's doing the bending. She's making a man do the bending and he's taking it. And, she don't really be dealing with dudes that are feminine or anything like that. These are straight guys that you would never know she's pegging the freak out of them. And there's just so much about black eroticism and things like that that kind of get ignored. And I think I would give credit to Vivica Fox for saying that, I'll say it like this, she tossed a 50-cent salad. Ever since then, in movies, let's call them movies, it's like every black guy's got his legs up now when you watch flicks. Y'all know what a flick is. And it's like, okay, so this actually stuff was going on a lot of time anyway, but because of, hypermasculinity, guys would be scared to talk about things about, doing freaky things in the bedroom, such as, the little buzz, things like this happen. And it's actually pretty common. Like, you'll hear a lot of church people say, what happens in the bedroom is sacred. You can do whatever with your husband, or, in the bedroom, whatever. And that's a lot of stuff that you're allowed to do that you probably wouldn't talk about. So having a character like Calvin, who was raised by 2 men, and so going to a gay bar for him isn't like he's trying to be gay. It's just like his 2 dads were gay. They brought him into this environment. He got comfortable in this environment. So, just like girls I know who say they don't want to be hit on, this is the opposite of what I'm saying. I know a lot of girls that go to gay bars because they don't want to be hit on by men. They just want to drink, have a good time, dance, and not worry about a whole bunch of men all up in their face, coming up in their space. They just want girlfriend time, so they go to the gay bar. and where the men really have no interest in them, but they'll still dance with them and have a good time and all this kind of stuff. So him going into the environment and be able to be comfortable without lusting after or trying to get some head or whatever he's trying to do, that is not the case for Calvin. Calvin just was raised in an environment, so he's cool in it. And for him to be open about the things he does, he'd like to do in the bedroom. Then once again, Tyler Perry said, well, when Sabrina went those things, he ended up with a white girl, that was more open to his fantasies and trying new things and not making him feel bad about it. That was a very interesting thing. Now, him getting slapped, spinning around, and fat falling out on the floor, that's just Tyler Perry being Tyler Perry. Like, this is Meet the Browns or something, or a Medea play. But other than stuff like that, I think that it's interesting to see a character who is comfortable in sexuality enough to just be him, and clearly Sabrina is not the woman for him to try these things with. He probably need to try my dominatrix friend. She'll give him the buzz a little bit more. But if Calvin and Q hook up, other than the fact that he's drunk, which would be him taking advantage of him, I think that would be gone in a wrong direction. I really think that would be going in a wrong direction, because it then makes people go, aha, so he really was that way. We all knew it, And so, if a guy likes certain things, like exploring things, like, for instance, I'm a retired firefighter, and one of the guys I worked with in the fire department, he could not give up his mistress. His wife tried to leave him. He tried to, he threatened to end her when she tried to divorce him. But, she got tired of him and this girl he couldn't let go of. And what he was telling me was that this girl, he can do all of the things, is a black girl, and his wife is black and he's black. So that he can do all these things with I'll just say what he said, this hood chick that, for a chicken box. If you're in Baltimore, you know what I'm talking about. He can do whatever he wants to her. He gets his talent tossed, and these are things that he said he could never even ask his wife to do, even if she wanted to do it. But because he's able to have those fantasies brought out with this girl, he couldn't let that go. But he also couldn't let go of the image of his wife, and that, he could not see his wife doing the same things that he wanted his mistress to do. And so he wanted them both, but the wife was not trying to go there and just be, the dutiful wife to let him go off and do what he wanted to do when she's not, paying attention. And so he's a little crazy. I had to talk him, he was in the car looking for his wife, trying to do the deed that'll get him in jail for the rest of his life. And I talked him down. He ended up coming to work, but they ended up going to marriage counseling. That's as far as I know, that happened. Last time, I talked to him, they were just in marriage counseling, whatever. But the idea that, some black folks can have a disconnect about allowing themselves to have fantasies and try new things with the one that they're married to or is their main girlfriend or whatever, we need to have more conversations and more shows that depict these type of relationships so that we can sort of merge them as one. And, people get more comfortable with trying new things and or getting comfortable with trying them and deciding that, hey, I don't want to do that. That wasn't for me, and then you move on to somebody who is. But it's very hard, it seems, that unless you're a part of a fringe in a community where people are doing those things, become part of those communities, it's a lot of conflict in people just being themselves and not worrying about what the next person thinks. I didn't just went in a whole nother place other than Sisters, but Sisters did bring me to all of those lines of thinking of how it's okay to have a character like Calvin. Keep him straight. Keep him straight. But don't just go the easy route and say, oops, it was what you thought it was, which in real life that happens too, but that's another story and for a different day. So that's it. I didn't even mention Robin and how he got Hayden to admit that him and Fatima had sex, and that it's also against the policy for them to have sex, not knowing that he's about to be the boss. And I was trying to think of how Tyler Perry's going to fix this, because Fatima's going to come back to the work. She's going to come back to the job, and that means Hayden has to get rid of his restraining order against her so that she can actually enter the building. So that means Robin is going to have to use his weight to force Hayden to drop the lawsuit against Zach, and also to drop the lawsuit against Fatima, so that she can come back to work and Zach can get out of jail. And then Zach has just got to clear up this child support stuff so they can get off his back and leave him alone, and we can move on to another storyline. Right now we're on episode 16, which means we only got about 6 episodes left. So we really need to start wrapping the season 4 stuff up, so that season 5 we can, hopefully move on to some new things. But that's just me. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I will see you next video, and thanks for watching.